Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Play. In the last couple episodes, I built a gunpowder farm, went to the end, and got myself an elytra and a few shulker boxes. Right now, these contain a bunch of resources for a build, one of 3 builds that I'll be making today. But before we get into that, I want to show you what I've been doing between episodes. But yeah, I cleared up a bunch of space. There used to be an entire village here, but I knocked that all out. But I will be building up my own village here, and that's what I need all this space here for. I did have a couple villagers here, and I believe they're right here. Yes. This guy, I just got this mending guy, and I've had this silk touch guy. But I was able to put mending on my elytra and my shovel so far. I also cleared out the sugar cane farm that used to be here. Haven't quite got to this bamboo forest yet, mainly because there's a lot that I need to take down, and I don't want to do that right now. I also moved this little bone meal farm thing that I've been using over from the village that was over here. I do want to eventually move this iron farm because it's currently in the way. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. By the way, I've never showed you guys this, but this iron farm is crazy. Crazy productive. I am constantly coming over here and turning those into blocks. And then I got this little bone meal converter that I can use right here from all the roses. But yeah, I have more iron than I could ever imagine using. Now for this village, one goal that I have is I want it to be pretty lively, so I want the villagers to be roaming around. So one of the things I need to figure out is how to make this area pretty safe for them. But I kind of have a feeling that I'm going to end up just trapping the villagers that are really good into the houses and then just letting the more useless ones, let's say, roam around. I almost forgot to explain the style that I'm going to be going for in this village. So in the first episode, I made this townhouse, which was inspired by Japanese urbanism. And I still really like that style, so I want to try some other things with it as well. This was essentially my first attempt at doing that style, and I feel like I've improved a little bit since then. So I've got 3 buildings in this style today, and I'm really excited to show them to you guys. So that's kind of the plan with this village. It's going to be mostly inspired by Japanese urbanism, and I also want to put some coastal city influence as well, since it's right along the edge of the water. So we'll make some houses that kind of blend the 2 elements together. Anyways, I'm going to get started on working on this first house. Starting things off, I'm going to add some bone blocks as pillars for the first floor of the house. And then in between the pillars, I want to use mushroom blocks to vary up the texture. And then these borders serve as outlines for things like windows and doors that I'm going to be adding. And then, of course, I will be using mud again for the backdrops of these windows. And then at the very top, I like the texture of the chiseled bookshelf, and of course it blends nicely with all these other colors we were using here. Next I'll add some trapdoors as shutters, and add a couple signs because why not? It just gives it a bit of extra texture and looks kind of interesting. On the side here I'm going to add some quartz pillar to act as a texture for a garage. Of course it starts raining right when I'm trying to record this, but I've just added a little canopy thing right there, and then I got a couple of these things right here to represent vending machines, and then chiseled bookshelves with books on them to kind of be like the stuff on the vending machine. And then around the back here I just built this extruding part of the building out of a different texture and block palette just to create even more variation. And then I've got some iron blocks here with a iron bar in front of it to signify an air conditioner. Okay, we've got the door installed now, and I want to take a minute to explain kind of this thing that I'm doing with these new builds I'm making today. But you can see that each of like the door and the windows and the garage and stuff are all sectioned off by these pillars here. They're bordered. Something about vertically separating these sections is just very appealing to look at. So of course I used it in all of the builds that I'm going to be making it today, so you'll see that trend. Also ignore the fact that this hasn't oxidized all the way yet, and I'm going to replace this door with copper once the next update comes out as well. For this second floor, we're going to first start by making a balcony, which also acts as a roof for the first floor. Then I went for a gray color for the second floor, comprised mostly of clay, but also has bits of gray concrete powder and gray wool in it. We'll add another window here. It's going to be a large one. Then of course we'll add some more details to make it look interesting. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Okay, more details have been added to the sides and back of the build. So as you can see here on the side, we have this just little spot for plants, another window right there, and this giant thing above the canopy, which is supposed to be a sign. I don't know if I mentioned yet, but this bottom half is supposed to be like a little market, and the top half is supposed to be where the person lives here. And on the side, or on the back, we've got just another window there and yet another air conditioner. And last but not least, gotta just add a little roof on top. Pretty basic design, nothing too complicated. And then I felt that it would be weird to have a hard line separating the roof from the main building, so I added a trim to the front just to give it a little more interest. And then lastly, I just wanted to put some quartz extending 1 block forward and half a block down, again to create some more variation. And then lastly, I just wanted to put an antenna on the very top to finish it off. Now we can break all of this. But yeah, the first of 3 houses is complete. It did take me just over an hour to record this building process and commentary. It's something that I'm not used to, so it's a little out of my comfort zone. But I hope you guys found it very informative, and I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I know this side's looking a little plain, but there's going to be a house right next to it, and it should hopefully cover it up. Try to show you guys a few good angles before we move on here. Looking at it head on is definitely the best, but it looks good from all sides, which is what I was going for. I want it to look good no matter where you're looking at it from. But yeah, that looks so good. I love it. Building like this might seem a little tedious to you, but I just love when every single block counts. It's the way I like to play this game. Alright, we'll move on now though. Getting started on the second house now. I have the pillars laid out, and I have this inset by a block for the door, and just to vary up the shape a little bit. But we'll go up to 5 on each of these on these pillars. I'm gonna have a big window at the front here, so I'm gonna get started placing these vertical elements. Of course, we put the mud behind again. Okay, then I wanted this window to be presenting a bunch of like plants and foliage and stuff, so I've just got all these different plants in here, and I really like this right here. I put a bamboo down and bone mealed it, and it just has all these leaf things on it, which looks really nice, with a pot and the fern above it to prevent it from growing any further. This is a 4 block deep window, so yeah, there's a lot of detail for just this window, but I think it looks really great. Okay, I built up the side wall a little bit more, but as you can see here, there's this weird thing left over from the window, so to cover that up, I'm just gonna have like some kind of sign thing that's going to be displaying advertisements, and the advertisements are gonna be just 3 paintings, and then there's a little space on the wall right here, so I'm just gonna fill that up by building a little moped. So I built this on my first townhouse as well, so all I do is I just have these little quartz stairs and slabs, and then I place the grindstones underneath them like this. And lastly, I put an oak fence open right here, and that looks like little handlebars. And then on the back, I'm gonna do something kind of like this, but it's gonna be a bit bigger and be like another entrance. So we'll have another door on this side, but on right here, I don't want to do another window because I feel like it would start getting a little too repetitive. But I have this other design that I think will look great here as well. It's another like vertically separated thing, but it's more like an advertisement, I guess. So place some beehives here with some oak planks right here. Couple ladders, this, and then I want to have a painting right here, and this will serve as like the advertisement. Continue building up the wall now. Okay, I've got this wall built up, and you may think that this looks a little weird, but trust the process. On the side here, we're gonna have a just stairway up here, and then on the sides, we'll put these oak trapdoors. I'm going to place these coming all the way down for some structural support. And then right here, where the cherry wood is, I will have it cross-sectioned. And then, I don't know, I just like the way that that looks behind the fences. Just gives it a bit of an extra texture and kind of makes it maybe look like some shading or something is going on different there. Door 1, door 2. And then again on this side, I just want to have a little display garden of some kind. So we'll place these here with a couple of bamboo trapdoors. A decorative pot on top, which for some reason is invisible. A few more flower pots. Like that. And then a couple more flowers and plants in the front. I'm going to use this trick again and place some string above it so it stops it from growing. And then lastly, I'll just have some grass on the side. Another nice little garden for you guys. Getting started on the second floor now, and a majority of this floor is just going to be bone blocks mixed with mushroom blocks. Now there is a method to the madness. I'm not just placing the bone blocks and the mushrooms randomly. The mushroom blocks are acting as like a darker shade to show where there might be dilapidation. And then I have a couple white concrete to show where this material is still the newest. And then again, I have this weird little pattern on the side like I did under here. And this time it's for the roof that's going to go above it. And then we'll have some kind of an antenna above this. Okay, it's starting to get repetitive, just saying the same things essentially over and over again. But we get another window in here, as well as another door. These iron blocks represent another air conditioner. And then out in the front here, we're just going to put some iron bars, and this is just a little balcony. And then to break up this wall, I'm going to place a lever with some chains above it. Don't ask me what this is, I don't really know. On the back here, I've got a bit of extra space on the wall where I can put another little spot for some foliage. Here on one of the other sides of this house, I just copy and pasted some stuff I already did previously, as you can see. Tried to make things vary from each other though. Like I've already done these two windows on their own, but putting them next to each other, I haven't done yet, so yeah, it looks good. Last, but of course not least, I'm going to top this thing with a pretty straightforward roof made out of cobbled deep slate. But yeah, this should bring everything together. And then lastly, this roof, of course, on the side. Again, making use of the little trim in the roof that I like to do. And yeah, there we go. This house should be complete now. I don't think I missed any details anywhere. We can take the scaffolding down now. But yeah, this is definitely another contender for one of my favorite builds that I've ever made. I just love it. It's so nice. I'm so pleased with it. Guess I'll just go around and show you guys some of the neat details that I really like. To begin with, I really like how this bamboo has the leaves sticking off of it. I think that looks really nice. And then I like this little window here with the air conditioner kind of on top of the window. I also really like this air conditioner as well because of the grime that's kind of like dripping down. I like how it kind of made it past the second floor into the first one, and I was able to change the block that's being used to represent the dripping, so I really liked that. I added this part onto the house. I didn't originally know what I was doing here. I just kind of added this to change the shape up a little bit to break it up, and it ended up turning out really well, especially this part, because honestly, this, I don't know what this is even supposed to be, but it just looks nice. The way that I imagine it is it's some kind of boarded up window, and some people have come by and stuck some newspapers or advertisements on it. But yeah, I just really like how this back area came out, especially this, just another garden to break up the plain wall, and then you can see some more texturing with the mushroom blocks as the grime dripping down. This side of the house is probably the most plain, but I mean, it's going to be covered up by another house that's going to go right here. But I really like how I made use of the cherry planks for like a shadow or something. And then I also did that right here as well. I really like it. But yeah, that's it for this house. I'm super pleased with how these are coming out so far, and I can't wait for them to all be built. So I guess I'll get started on collecting the next materials for that. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. Yeah, I figured I'd show that one in a time lapse since I pretty much just did the same exact things as that one, just kind of remixed it a little bit. But yeah, I'll just kind of go through and show you some of the finer details of this thing. Same kind of doors that I've been using this whole time and that I use a lot. By the way, this like style of door, I did not personally come up with that. I got it from a builder named The Gimmicky, who is on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter, I believe. So yeah, go check him out. He is an awesome builder. Just wanted to give him a shout out right there. But I do try to do my own thing with it. I don't just like copy block for block. As you can tell, I always have different things on each one. So I try to keep it unique. Next, I've just got this garage here in the front with another garden type of thing, making use of this bamboo trick, again with the string on top. And just some kind of window at the top with the trap doors there. On the side, I have another vending machine, which I need to stock up with books, an air conditioner, and this time I put in a window that had like some bars on it. Little canopy over this whole side, just to break it up, because I felt like something needed to be there because this section was just feeling too tall. On the back here, another one of these things, I don't know what you would call it, with just the roof coming out here. On the side, I have the stairway going up to the second floor. Another extension from the house with advertisements on it. And I put some Cherry Grove wood signs, and I really like how that color pops on here. It looks really good. On the second floor, I have this window, which I thought was pretty interesting. I tried to make use with trapdoors separating every block, but obviously on the last block, I wasn't able to put two trapdoors on that same block, so I tried to cover it up with a plant right there. We'll keep going higher. This style of roof is a little different from the other two in both its color and the shape that I went with here. This house in general most closely resembles my first house that I made on the world, and I really like it because of that. Yeah, as you can see, I really like just experimenting with different styles of windows. That's been one of my favorite things to mess around with recently, and I'm actually missing a block right there. I'll have to go place it here in a second. but it's one of the easiest ways to create variation on a build for me right now. And if I didn't have this here, it would just be a big space of sandstone, of smooth sandstone, and that would be pretty boring. I could probably fill it up with something else, but I'm really enjoying putting different kinds of windows at the moment. But yeah, you can see on this side, even more variation in the windows, kind of echoing the same things that I've done before, but with slight variations. This one has the AC connected into it, and some little clothes or something draping over the sides of the railing. On the side, there's an antenna right there. But yeah, that pretty much is about it for this house. I don't have any interiors on any of them just yet. I do plan on doing my interiors at some point. I know I've been skipping out on that recently, but I'm just being lazy, but I will get to them at some point. Same with the terrain as well. It's looking pretty boring right now. I'm not sure what I want to do here at the front yet. I'm still trying to figure out the layout that I want to do here in this village. So yeah, I want to get maybe like a road done and add some trees around the area to make it look even better. But yeah, there's still much more to do here. I just have to plan it. These took a while to design in creative, and then a while to build in the world. And then I, of course, have to set up all the villagers that are going to be residing here. So yeah, there's a lot to do with this project. Although, as I've said, I'm starting to add to a now growing list of stuff that I need to get back to. For the villagers, I do have another village over here. And so I'll probably just start pulling these guys over to the new village and set up some kind of villager breeder as well. But yeah, we'll have to make that the agenda for the future because I want to get this video out to you guys now. For now though, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a bit on the buildy side today, but I hope you guys could get something out of it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Now you can go ahead and click the next video.